welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be doing the musical book tag. Now before I get started I just have to apologise if things seem a bit wonky. It's just that my iPad stand isn't sitting straight for some reason, so I will have to try and sort that out. If I can't, then all my videos in the future will be wonky. Now, as you may know, I am a huge musical fan. I love going to see musicals, it's my favourite thing to do. So when I found out there was a musical book tag, I thought I'd just better give it a go. So the first question is based on Wicked, which is my favourite musical, and that is your favourite fictional friendship. Now for me, the first friendship that came into mind was Harry Potter, Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter series. I think that's just because I grew up with this friendship. I saw it start all the way to the end, and they were just so good together. You know, you've got Harry, who's the star of the show, you've got Hermione, who's the brainy one, and then you've got Ron, who is the best friend, silly sidekick, but I don't really like to call him that. And I just think it's great seeing all these friends together. You've also got the added extras of Neville Longbottom, Luna Lovegood, and everyone just joining in this huge gang of friends, and I just loved it so much. I don't think there's any other friendship that can beat the friendships in Harry Potter, because they're just written so beautifully, and I will just grow up wishing I had a friendship like that, because they literally went to hell and back for their friends. The next question is based on Sweeney Todd, which is a show that I do really want to see. I've obviously seen the Tim Burton film with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, but I would really like to go see it live. I think it'll be interesting seeing everything done on a stage. But the question that goes with this is your favourite villain. Now, to go along with Sweeney Todd and all the blood and gore, I have to go with Dracula. I think he is the classic villain, and also I'm saying this because he's an underrated villain. He seems like an obvious choice, but not many people will probably pick him, just because especially in this it is quite gory, he's preying on young women, and it's not very nice. But Dracula, my favourite villain of all time, just because I do love vampires, even though I'm a bit fed up of reading about them. But yeah, Dracula. Next one is Phantom of the Opera, another musical that I haven't seen live yet, but I did see the 25th anniversary edition they filmed, and I fell in love with it. So I do really want to go see it live. And the question for this is your favourite love triangle. Now, if you've seen one of my previous videos about book trends you hate, love triangles is in there. So for this question, I did have a few choices. I have to say, it is real hard because I don't like love triangles, but my favourite one is probably Katniss, Gale and Peter, just because there's lots of different reasons as to why Katniss would like Gale and Peter. I suppose Peter, she was in the Hunger Games, they've kind of been tied together by survival, and then there's Gale, who's basically been like her best friend for her whole life. So there's those two kind of things, but love triangles aren't my favourite, so this is a bit of a dodgy question for me. The next one is The Lion King, a show that I love. I've seen it live twice, once when it came to Bradford, my hometown, and the other time was down in the West End last year, and it is such a good musical, you have to go see it. And the question for this is your favourite sidekick. Now, this one I felt was quite hard, just because I never really know what a sidekick is. Like, you have the best friend, is that technically a sidekick? Because I don't see them as a sidekick. For this one, I've gone with the dwarves from The Hobbit, and I've basically only gone with this one because there's so many of them, and they're all different personalities, they're all totally different, and I think it's great how Tolkien has written them, like equal parts. None of them are really in the background, and I just think it's brilliant, and I do find them quite funny. And saying this, I really think I should reread The Hobbit and just the Lord of the Rings series in general, because it's been a while since I've read it. I think I read this the year the film came out. I do think I need to refresh my memory, so I might reread this. But yes, sidekicks, I'd say all the dwarfs from The Hobbit. The next one is Grease, and that is your least favourite ending. I'm not quite sure why this is the least favourite ending. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because in the film they kind of randomly go in a car and it flies, and you just don't understand it at all. But for this one, I have gone with the boy in striped pyjamas, just because the ending is not as good as the ending of the film. The film, I was a sobbing mess. I remember watching it in history class when I was in sixth form, and I really did want to cry. But I just ended up crying, and I looked around and everyone in the whole class was crying, and I'm pretty sure the boys were as well. whereas this, it doesn't have the emotion. I think it's because it's from Bruno's point of view, the small boy, so he kind of goes into the gas chamber and it stops. You don't really see, you know, the family running around looking for the boy, and it's just not as emotional, and that kind of ruined it for me. I just kind of closed the book and went, oh, and yeah. The next one is Matilda. Matilda is my favourite child's book ever, except I haven't seen the musical yet, just because whenever I've been to London I've been wanting to see Wicked. Like I said last time, we went to see The Lion King, and I think next time I go to London it will be very likely that I'll be seeing Hamilton, so Matilda will be pushed aside again. I just hope it goes on tour and it comes up to Bradford, because I really need to see this musical, especially because I'm a huge fan of Tim Minchin. He's an Australian comedian and he's the man who wrote all the songs for Matilda, so I do really want to see this. But the question for this is your favourite book adaptation. Now again, this could be Harry Potter, but then thinking about it, near the end the films did become quite disappointing. They left out lots of bits of the book and that kind of annoyed me. So for this one I've gone with The Martian, just because I've recently seen the film. I read the book first, then saw the film, and I actually really liked it. I thought it could go either way. It could either be really rubbish or really good. It turned out to be really good. I think the main thing why it was so good is because Matt Damon, I believe this is Matt Damon, he was just perfect for the role of, I totally forgotten the name of this character. That's not going to come into me at any moment, so I'm just going to carry on. But he was perfect, he was funny, like I said, the humour was there, and I just loved the film so much. My boyfriend, however, didn't quite get into the film and he didn't sit through the whole thing. I personally loved it. And the next one is Les Miserables. I cannot pronounce that, I just call it Les Mis because that is easier. This is another musical that I love. I originally saw the 25th anniversary, which they filmed, and it had Nick Jonas as Marius. That's the main reason why I wanted to watch it. And then I watched it and it was amazing. Then I downloaded the soundtrack and I loved that. Then the film came out, and then I finally got the chance to see it in the West End, and Carrie Hope Fletcher, who I am a huge fan of, was playing Eponine, who is my favourite character, and I just loved it. Les Mis is probably one of those, it's not going to be my favourite one because Wicked is always going to be there, but Les Mis is definitely always going to be in my top 3 just because it is a total classic. And as you can probably guess by it being Les Mis, the question for this is your favourite death. This one is quite hard because I think it's hard to have a favourite death. If it's a good death, you're just sat there crying. And say that's the favourite is a bit hard. So after a lot of thought, I have gone with Professor Snape from Harry Potter. I'm holding this up because I don't want to take the books out because I won't get them back in again. But Snape, I just remember crying my eyes out, and I did not expect it at all. You know, you see his memories, which is part of his death, I would say, and you just don't expect it, and yeah. I want to reread it just so I can go through it again. But it's also the favourite. I wouldn't say it's the saddest. The Weasley twin who dies, is it Fred who dies? Mike George? I have no idea. That's obviously the saddest, but Snape's probably been my favourite because you get to see all his past, see he's actually a good guy, see that he didn't kill Dumbledore because he wanted to, he killed him because Dumbledore asked him to save Draco Malfoy. So I'm going to say Snape. So that's it for this musical book tag. I'll link the person who originally did it down below because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll Google it and find out. And I'm not going to tag anyone, I don't think. If I do, it would be last minute. But if you want to do this, if you're a fan of musicals, just have a go and see what questions you come up with. That's it for me today. As usual, you can like or subscribe to this channel. And as usual, there's my Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram and Snapchat to follow, and I will see you later. Bye!